The Emirates Airline Lit Fest took place in Dubai last week, ending on March 9th, attracting some big names from the industry like Ian Rankin, Darcey Bussell, Jane Hawken, and a Diary of a Wimpy Kid author, Jeff Kinney. The event was a huge celebration, and that is exactly what we're discussing on today's edition of Inside AB. I'm Shruti Nair, and this is our new editorial director, Shane McKinley.
I was at the festival for most of the day, and I thought it was quite interesting that, because I'm a wannabe novelist myself as opposed to being a journalist as well. So I was quite interested in what was happening with novelists and authors, not just the really famous ones like Ian Rankin, but general authors. So I interviewed about a dozen people, and I have a couple more to go at the time of recording anyway. But I thought what was most interesting when you look at the statistics of what's happening with authors, in the UK, for example, book sales have gone up 5%. But if you look at the average earnings of authors, they've actually dropped about 40% in the last decade, which is huge. So the industry is earning a lot of money, but the problem is that authors are not earning as much money. So it's both the case in the US and the UK. So if you look at, say, the statistics, in the UK, the average author earns £10,500, which isn't a huge sum.
Yeah.
In the US, it's £6,000. Dollars actually, obviously, because it's the US, and that's down 42% since 2009. So that's quite a substantial drop. So the thing that I was interested to find out is that is this what's happening in this part of the world? The answer when I spoke to most of the authors is that it's not the case. That in this part of the world, you obviously have Arabic authors and you have expat authors. If you're a struggling expat author, you don't stay in this part of the world, you go home. If you're an Arab author, I spoke to one particular Arab author who told me that she's actually earning about $30,000 from royalties, which is way higher than anyone we've seen in the UK and the US. So that's good news for Arabs.
Right, so now we've obviously spoken about the authors in different regions, US, UK, and you also covered the Middle East. But just a bigger picture for our viewers, of course. What is the bigger picture for readers?
Well, yeah, because the obvious question you would ask is that if authors are not earning money, they're not going to write. So the downside for readers is that then you're not going to get potentially great literature that's going to be written because the people can't actually earn money. Because if they're off doing a second, third, or even fourth job in some cases, they're not going to have time to write. And this issue was highlighted by the Authors Guild in the US, who actually said that this is going to be a huge travesty for modern literature, which I interviewed a lot of people at the festival. They weren't as apocalyptic as that, because they were saying that actually now you can self-publish. So what the statistics also show is that there's more books being published, but the people are earning less. So you could say that it's great you're getting 99¢ on a Kindle, but is the quality as good? Are you getting great literature? That's up for debate.
So obviously at the Lit Fest, there were a lot of established authors who came, like the names we mentioned earlier. And then there were also a lot of struggling authors, right? So what are the options available right now for those authors who are struggling right now?
That's a very good question. I asked that to a lot of people that I interviewed. There was a couple of different options available. When I spoke to an Indian gentleman who actually runs a literary festival, I think it was in Bangalore or some part of India, he said that actually in India, if you're an author, you have to pay your publisher to publish your book, which is very different than the traditional model in the US and the UK. And then after about 3 or 4 books, if that's assuming that's successful, then they'll take you on and you'll start earning royalties. In the UK, for example, they have something called the Royal Literary Fund, which if you're a struggling author but you're very, very talented, they will give you a grant so that you can stop working and write your book. Then there's a third model which is extremely controversial when I spoke to people, and it's a company called De Montfort Literature, and it was founded by a gentleman called Jonathan de Montfort, who I interviewed from London a couple of days ago. The model he's come up with is similar to what he did when he was a hedge fund manager, and he comes up with algorithms to why the stock market is going to go up or down. So he's taken the same approach, and to find out what novels and themes are going to be successful, then he's going to hire authors to write these novels. So it's very much taking a mathematical approach to, but the catch that he's doing is that he's going to hire you 9 to 5 Sunday to Thursday in our case. Or in London, it would obviously be Monday to Friday. So you work at like an office job, you'll get paid £25,000 he's paying.
Oh, okay.
And you'll also get half of the royalties if your book is successful. So that sounds quite good. £25,000, it's nearly double what the average author is getting paid, like we spoke about earlier.
Yeah, great. But all of this sounds really interesting, and I do look forward to reading the feature in the magazine when it's published in a couple of weeks. Yes?
Yeah, exactly. So look forward to it online and in print in a couple of weeks.
Great. Thanks, Shane, for this. And thank you for watching Inside AB. We will be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. So don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe.